What a morning. Wow. So good. I love coffee. Do you love coffee? I love coffee. All right, well, today we're going to be talking about creativity. And I'm super excited to share with you some tips about how you can become a little bit more creative in your daily life. So why don't you go ahead and watch this intro. I'm going to smash this coffee, and when we get back, it's time to talk creative. Man, that is good stuff. Oh, I love pour over. Man, good coffee. All right, well, now that I've got some caffeine in me, we are ready to go. And I am super excited that you're joining us today because we're going to talk all about how to become a little bit more creative. But first, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do so. It's the big red button right down below. I think it's in that corner. I don't know. Don't know my way around a YouTube frame yet, but we're getting there. Anyway, you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started talking about creativity. That's right, creativity is like a spooky buzzword in our society. People throw it around when they think that there's something like magical or mystical about a person, right? You know what I'm talking about? People are like, wow, he's so creative. It's amazing. But do they actually know what creativity means? Do you know what a creative person is and what they do? Well, if not, you're in luck, because today we're gonna unveil that mystical figure of a creative that people always talk about. But first, we need to go over some misconceptions so that you don't come to the table with your own preconceived idea of what a creative is. What do you think about when you think of a creative person? You think of an artist or a designer or maybe a musician, but here's the truth. Everybody is creative, so you should be thinking about everybody, yourself included. The problem is that we don't use our creativity. Just like every other thing in the world, creativity has to be practiced. And as you practice it, you get better at it. And if you don't practice it, then you don't. However, there's no innate trait that makes some people creative and others not. It just doesn't exist. You are creative, and you're as creative as you allow yourself to be. Another misconception that everybody carries around is that creatives are a rare breed, as if we're some sort of species that doesn't belong on this planet, and when one pops up, everyone's like, oh my gosh, a creative person, what are we gonna do with it? That's not the reality. The reality is that creative people are everywhere. They're all around you, and the most creative people are the most successful people. In fact, creative people run our world. Creative people are the ones that put together the media you consume. Creative people are the ones that are developing policies in office. They're the ones inventing new products and running big businesses. Creative people are all around us, and we don't appreciate them or recognize them because in our 21st century Western mindset, we have boiled creativity down to a certain set of careers. People think that artists are creative or musicians are creative, but nobody thinks about an entrepreneur being creative. So if we're going to unmask the creative person and figure out what the essence of creativity is, we need to throw out these misconceptions and realize that creativity comes in a lot of different forms and fashions. So how then do we define creativity? When we boil it all down, what is a creative? Well, here's the reality, and you probably have never heard creativity explained like this before. And that is, creativity is just problem solving. That's it. It's just problem solving. And you're probably thinking, there's no way that that's true. I problem solve all the time. I'm not creative. Well, let me explain what I mean. In all of our education systems, we are conditioned out of creativity because we're conditioned not to problem solve. We are only ever taught how to implement solutions that other people develop. Think about your education. You're always given a problem, and then you're told this is the solution to that problem. Now go and practice it. In your career, if you work a day job or a salary position, how often are you actually told to develop new solutions? You're not. You're given solutions and told to implement them. Even in higher level education, where you may be given a research paper, You're not actually told to develop a solution, you're just told to find solutions that other people have developed and then write about them. Our entire education system teaches us to be implementers, not creative thinkers. We're taught that we can't buck the system, we shouldn't try anything new, do what's already been done, or do what you're assigned to do by those who are in charge. You're taught not to problem solve, but to solution implement. This is the secret. The most successful people and the most creative people are the ones that can identify a problem and then discover a new solution to that problem. They create something, and that's what creativity is all about. So it's not about designing something cool, creating a great piece of art. It's about identifying solutions that don't exist. And if you can do this, people will pay you lots of money for it. The only reason we identify architects and designers as creative people is because within that broad field of designer, there's people that actually do exercise creativity, and they use their skill set to problem solve and develop new solutions. And then we see that as a society and we say, wow, look at these creative people. The reality is there's creative people in all industries. And no matter what your industry is, you can be a creative person too. All it takes is practicing seeing the world as a set of problems that need solutions, and then working to identify solutions to those problems that don't currently exist. Here's the truth about me as a brand designer. There's nothing that makes my design work in Adobe Illustrator better than anybody else's. In fact, illustrators and designers around the world, they could replicate exactly what I do if I showed them. So that means that within my skill set, there's nothing creative. And that's an important thing to note. Being creative is not contingent upon your skill set. Instead, where I create value for people as a creative is when I help businesses identify their problems with their brand and then develop new solutions that don't previously exist. So if you want to learn how to be more creative, don't spend time trying to master techniques that stimulate creativity or watching videos on YouTube like 10 steps to becoming a more creative person, because those people are all coming at creativity with their own misconception. And that misconception is that creativity is somehow some sort of artistic thing. Creativity is problem solving. It's critical thinking skills. So instead of pushing yourself to be more artistic, start thinking, based on the skills that I have, how can I develop a solution that helps people? And that could be your business, that could be your boss, that could be a client. Start developing solutions that are new and unique, things that haven't been done before. And you'll find that as you exercise your problem-solving skills, you'll break away from the conditioning that you've been given all of your life to just implement solutions that other people create. You'll start seeing the world in a new light as you start to identify problems that you didn't see before, and then think about how you can develop a solution that could fix that problem or make life easier for people with that problem. That's where the gem of creativity is. That's where creative people shine, is in problem solving, and they get excited about the opportunity that they have to use their critical thinking skills and develop something new with their skill set. The beauty of creativity is that it's there for all, and it's free for the taking. All you have to do is practice. Break away from what you've been taught. Think about things differently. Practice critical problem solving, and you'll see doors open up that you never even thought possible. I'm so glad you joined us for this chat, and if you enjoyed this content and learned something, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to be talking a lot about creativity and the creative process. Alright everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Stay creative, problem solve, and I'll see you in the next video.